He'll then have the right to appear before a panel of deans and professors to pitch his course. If his pitch is approved, his course will be accredited, and even though the student is still only an undergrad, he'll be allowed to teach it on campus. I realize this is an unexpected opportunity to honor my vow and bring respect to comic books and their creators through academia. So I race to my folklore professor, Dr. Henry Glassy, hoping to get the backing of IU's folklore department for my idea of teaching the world's first college-accredited course on comic books. My proposal to Dr. Glassy, that comic books constitute a true American art form as indigenous to this country as jazz, comes shooting from my lips like Captain Marvel's magic lightning bolt. Doc, comic books and superheroes are our contemporary American folklore, our modern-day mythology. The ancient gods of Greece, Rome, and Egypt still exist, only today they wear spandex and capes. Look, the Greeks called him Hermes, the Romans called him Mercury, and I call him the Flash. The Greeks called him Poseidon, the Romans called him Neptune, I call him Aquaman. Comic books have been published every week since the mid-1930s. They've been a mirror of our society reflecting a changing American culture. Our emotions, mores, fads, slang, and unfortunately our biases and our prejudices have been reflected in their pages since before World War II.
Michael, you're absolutely right. The plots, motifs, and conventional stock characters found in traditional folklore are exactly the same as the ones found today in comic books. And whether you call them King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, or the Justice League, or the Avengers, there are still stories of heroes fighting the demons and dragons of the day. The stories now are merely cloaked in contemporary trappings.
The folklore department will back me. On the day I pitch to the dean, I'm wearing my Amazing Spider-Man t-shirt for impact, clutching my collection of comic books and pages of original art. As I take one last deep breath and walk into the dean's conference room, I have some serious deja vu. It just so resembles what I always pictured the Justice League of America's secret sanctum would look like. Dark mahogany walls, a long, thick conference room table, high-back plush chairs. As I enter, the dean looks down at me from over the top of that little pair of half glasses he wore at the end of his nose.
So, you're the fellow who wants to teach a course on funny books at my university?
I know I'm in deep trouble. I launch into the first pitch of my career. The dean gives me maybe 2 minutes to speak before...
Mr. Uslan, stop. Comic books as mythology? Superheroes as folklore? Give me a break. What comic books are cheap. Maybe lurid entertainment for children. Nothing more, nothing less. And I reject your theory.
But Dean, wait, you haven't even heard about the Silver Surfer.
Mr. Uslan, I read comic books when I was a child. I read every issue of Superman I could get my hands on, but it's all just kid stuff. And I reject your premise.
Figuring I now have nothing to lose, I look at him directly, eye to eye. Dean, may I ask you just 2 questions?
Ask me whatever you want.
Are you familiar with the story of Moses?
Yes, so?
Could I ask you to very briefly just summarize for me the story of Moses?
Mr. Uslan.
Uslan. It's Uslan.
Son, I don't know what game you're playing here, but I'll play along with it with you. The Hebrew people were being persecuted. The firstborn were being slain. A Hebrew couple placed their infant son into a little wicker basket and sent him drifting down the Nile. There, the basket was found by an Egyptian couple who raised the child as their own son. When he grew up and learned of his true heritage, he became a great hero to
That's
people.
Great, Dean. Thank you so much. Now, you said you read Superman comics when you were a kid. By any chance, do you recall the origin of Superman?
Absolutely. The planet Krypton was about to explode. A scientist and his wife placed their infant son into a little rocket ship and sent him to Earth, where he was found by the Kents, who raised him as their own son. When he grew up and learned of his true heritage, he
The dean pauses for what I swear to you is an eternity.
Mr. Uslan, your course is accredited.
Ah, hell, let's read the whole play. Go!
That's true. That was true.
What was the reaction in the room, though? I mean, he's tricking me here. I was going to ask you about your next book.
Well, if I can just add, 2022, I think, is going to be the biggest Batman year since the days of the Dark Knight.
Oh, that.
And Tim Burton's Batman. I mean, think about it. The Batman movie opens the first week in March. There's going to be a great new Batman animated series coming. This time next year will be the return of Michael Keaton as Batman. We have the Broadway play that's very exciting, and now I have to add something Stan Lee always told me. He says, Michael, whenever you can get a plug-in, get a plug-in. So, my sequel book to The Boy Who Loved Batman, which is called Batman's Batman, is going on sale the first week in March. What a coincidence.
Hey, can Broadway plays have sequels?
Can you believe it?
And memoirs.
Absolutely.
I want to.
Life cannot be contained in one book.
Absolutely not. I think you will find it rather humorous and interesting as the misadventures continue. We have, as you can see from the cover, we've got a great blurb from Mark Hamill, another one on the back cover from Kevin Conroy, and a number of other great people. And then let me announce something that we haven't talked about before. Once the Broadway play opens, we are proceeding with a feature film version of The Boy Who Loved Batman.
Woo!
My goal is to make it a Christmas story for kids who grew up reading comic books. We have a phenomenal director on board. Howie Deutsch began his career as a director, directing the John Hughes movies. Some of you might remember Pretty in Pink, Some Kind of Wonderful. Went on to do The Replacements and Grumpier Old Men and The Whole 10 Yards. Lately, he's been directing Young Sheldon, which to me gives him exactly the right perspective for what we're going to be doing. It's a movie that will be filmed predominantly in my home state of New Jersey, where I also happen to be head of the New Jersey Film Commission, by the way, with some select scenes shot at Indiana University as well, obviously. So we're very, very excited about this, and as the beat goes on. All right.
Might any of you have questions? Is that a yes? I'm opening up the
Go over
microphone.
to the mic.
If you'd like to ask questions, step up to the microphone, state your name, and as Michael says, dream big.
Thank you for coming to Comic-Con. My question was, after struggling so long to get the first Batman film made, how did it feel having it made?
It was a dream come true for me. That was a human endurance contest for 10 years. And at the end of the day, I think that the greatest moment came when somebody came up to me and said, I saw this with my dad and my grandpa when it came out, and my dad's not here anymore, and my grandpa's not here anymore, but I carry this moment with me as one of the sweetest memories I have of my family. And that's what legitimizes everything. That's what makes all the hell you go through worthwhile.
Thanks so much for sharing your experiences. This question is for Michael. Is there a young actor that you currently envision to have playing yourself in the film version of this adaptation?
I put my wife
You're a versatile guy. I thought you could do it.
Yeah, they want me to do it. They're crazy. So the answer is, we're working on a list, actually.
Oh,
Put
okay.
my wife in charge of final approval. It's gonna be a challenge, but we're really looking forward to it.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Hi, as somebody who works in here, I'd like to